As I mentioned yesterday in my review for GT7 1.46, the engine swaps this time around are kind of weird. Not only because of what the swaps themselves are, a couple of them make sense, but more so for the cars in question, because to me the idea of engine swapping Group 4 cars seems kind of pointless to begin with. Like, it sounds cool initially, but then when you think about actually using it, like for example I motor swapped the Silvia a while back, and then you pretty much can't use it for that much, at least for what it was originally intended for, so it's kind of a one-way ticket unless you want to buy yourself multiple Group 4s, I guess. This time around though, we're kicking off first of all with the Veyron. It is the Group 4 car, and it has the LS7 BRZ engine, so definitely some serious horsepower, and on the one hand it's cool to have that kind of power in the Group 4, which is a very underpowered car, comically so. Like I said, it kind of negates the point of it being a Group 4, and also, why not just have something like a Chiron engine? Or if you're going to really get technical about it, why not put a normal Veyron engine back into it? I mean, that would be a weird swap to do, but it would still make more sense than this. The next one, which is slightly different, but also kind of head-scratching, is the Group 4 NSX, which can have another LS7, but it's not the BRZ, it's the Rampage engine. Huge power, again, but also maybe even more bewildering in terms of why. Because on the one hand, the Veyron is known for being ridiculously underpowered for what it is, but the NSX, I don't really hear anyone talking about this thing being good or bad. I'm sure I've just missed that, but the NSX doesn't really seem to be one of the Group 4s that most people are clamouring over, at least from what I saw online. So again, it's cool I guess if you want to do it, but kind of a weird choice. The next one though, in fact the next two, are both much more interesting and make a lot more sense. The first one is the 1958 C1 Corvette. This is the one which, to be honest, I've been waiting for. An LT5 Corvette C7 swap. I didn't really care if it was a C7 specifically, but I just needed a bigger, more powerful engine to be able to recreate something like the Art Morrison Corvette from Gran Turismo 6. So that will most likely be featuring in a future Special Projects vid. The next one, with the same engine, is another Corvette of course, one which I've already done a Special Projects on, the SCCA style, in my case 1968 C2 Corvette Stingray, one which I've already tuned to over 600 horsepower, as you can see here on screen, to mirror those Gran Turismo 6 numbers, but with the C7 engine, you can technically get even more horsepower out of it, so again, not a bad thing I guess if you want to make your C2 properly quick, and they finally joined the ranks, I guess, of the C3, because the C3 Corvette has had an engine swap for ages. It was much earlier than these two. And then finally, to come full circle back to the weird Veyron swap, possibly just as weird is the Lexus LC500. Again, I talked about it yesterday, but the 2017 Lexus LC500 with perhaps the easiest choice, a total no-brainer for Polyphony to do, but for some reason they didn't put the Lexus LFA V10 into it, they put the same LS7 BRZ engine as the option. So great in terms of horsepower, but very odd in terms of the choice. I feel like this one might be a reference to something, maybe a drift car, so I guess if that's so, it could make more sense than the Veyron, but like I said, it's a very weird mix of engine swaps this time around. On the one hand, it's cool because it's a bit different to just having a bunch of Evos like last time, but it's odd. And it's much more reminiscent of what I would expect more so from Forza's engine swaps, actually. So that's it for this particular roundup. At some point I'll have to do a much bigger revamped version of the entire list, but we'll leave that for now. And of course, stick around in the coming days, wherein I will be talking about the rest of 1.46. But that's it for this vid. I'll see you next time, and for now, thanks for watching.